Riding a motorcycle for just 20 minutes can reduce stress hormones by 28%, according to a real-world UCLA study where riders followed a 22-mile route on their own bikes. This result stands out not as an anecdote, but as a measured physiological change. The study found that riding led to a notable drop in cortisol, the primary stress biomarker, and produced a level of alertness similar to that provided by a cup of coffee. It is remarkable that an activity often associated with speed and excitement can deliver such a measurable benefit for stress management. The sense of freedom and focus riders experience on the open road is more than a feeling. It is a process grounded in science. If you appreciate these insights, consider subscribing to Motorcycle Library. Now, let's examine what makes this stress reduction possible. The science behind the stress drop. Scientific research provides a clear explanation for motorcycling's measurable stress relief. In a controlled UCLA study, participants experienced a 28% reduction in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, after a 20-minute motorcycle ride. That same study recorded an 11% increase in heart rate and a 27% rise in adrenaline, responses similar to those observed during light exercise. These physiological changes indicate that motorcycling produces a state of heightened alertness while simultaneously reducing anxiety and tension. The experience of riding a motorcycle is not simply about speed or excitement. The rhythmic hum, steady vibration, and open-air sensory input lock you into the moment, replacing racing thoughts with a clear, single focus. This sensory immersion is often described by riders as a form of mental clarity, where the mind's usual clutter gives way to a sense of calm. The sound of the engine and the feel of the wind act as anchors, drawing attention away from daily concerns and toward the immediate environment. Physiologically, riding activates the sympathetic nervous system, producing a controlled release of adrenaline and increasing heart rate. This state is comparable to the runner's high, reported by athletes, where movement and focus combine to generate a positive, energizing effect. The ride requires continuous coordination, balancing through turns, adjusting speed, and monitoring road conditions, which keeps both mind and body engaged. This engagement prevents the mental fatigue that often accompanies static or repetitive routines, offering instead a dynamic form of relief. Unlike meditation stillness, the ride's motion becomes your mindfulness practice. The focus required to navigate a winding road or manage urban traffic demands complete attention. Visual concentration sharpens as the rider tracks the road ahead, while muscle memory handles subtle adjustments in posture and throttle. In these moments, the mind is drawn away from distractions and into a state of singular awareness. The effect is not one of detachment from the world, but of deep engagement with it. The benefits are not limited to subjective experience. In that same study, participants saw cortisol down 28% and heart rate up 11%, mirroring light exercise effects. The body responds to riding as it would to a brisk walk or short run, but with a unique combination of stimulation and calm. The sense of control and mastery that comes from handling a motorcycle further reinforces this effect, providing a psychological boost that persists after the ride ends. Riders often report a sense of relief and renewed clarity after even a short journey. The physical sensations, the lean of the bike through a curve, the feedback from the road, the constant adjustments, create a feedback loop that sustains focus and dissipates stress. The interplay of adrenaline and endorphins produces what psychologists refer to as eustress, a beneficial form of stress that enhances mood and performance. This controlled arousal helps explain why riders frequently describe feeling lighter, less burdened, and more alert after a ride. The distinction between motorcycling and traditional relaxation techniques is significant. While meditation and yoga rely on reducing external input, riding integrates every element of the environment, sound, motion, and changing scenery, into a single, cohesive experience. The result is a form of active mindfulness, where the mind is both alert and at ease. This dual effect is supported by both anecdotal accounts and objective physiological measurements. Motorcycling, then, stands apart as a stress relief practice that combines physical activation with mental clarity. The open road becomes a space where tension is released, focus is sharpened, and a sense of well-being emerges. These effects are not confined to the ride itself, but extend into daily life, offering a practical and enjoyable means of managing stress. As these physiological and psychological mechanisms come together, they set the stage for a deeper exploration of how riding shapes mental states. The next step is to examine the parallels between motorcycling and established mindfulness practices, and to consider how the unique demands of the ride foster not only calmness, but a heightened sense of presence. Mindfulness on two wheels. Mindfulness isn't just stillness, it's full presence, and on a bike that focus comes through speed and sensory immersion. The act of riding requires a continuous, deliberate awareness of the environment and the machine. Unlike the quiet of a meditation room, the road presents a stream of sensory information. The movement of traffic, the contours of the pavement, the changing light and weather. Each of these elements demands attention, forcing the rider's mind out of distraction and into a clear, singular focus. This form of mindfulness is rooted in the necessity of concentration. Every moment on a motorcycle involves a series of rapid decisions. Identifying potential hazards, adjusting to the actions of other drivers, and interpreting subtle feedback from the bike itself. Riders describe this as zoning in, a state where peripheral concerns fade, and the immediate present becomes the only priority. The constant demand for attention leaves little space for intrusive thoughts or lingering anxieties. The focus is not passive. It is sharpened by the need to respond to the road, the machine, and the environment in real time. Sensory engagement is central to this experience. The wind provides continuous feedback, shifting with speed and direction, while the engine's vibration and sound create a physical and auditory rhythm. Visual input changes rapidly. Landscapes, road signs, and the movements of other vehicles all contribute to a dynamic, immersive setting. These sensations serve as anchors, grounding the rider in the present. Unlike meditation, which often relies on internal cues such as breathing, motorcycling uses external sensory input to achieve a similar effect. The result is an active form of mindfulness, maintained not by withdrawal from the world, but by deep engagement with it. Scientific observations support this phenomenon. EEG data show riders enter a brain state much like meditators, heightened awareness and filtered distractions. This flow state locks in your focus mile after mile, allowing for sustained concentration without mental fatigue. The brain processes information efficiently, prioritizing what is relevant and discarding what is not. This efficiency can lead to a sense of effortlessness, even as the rider remains highly alert and responsive to changing conditions. The impact of this flow state is noticeable beyond the ride itself. Riders frequently report a sense of clarity and calm that persists after dismounting. The act of maintaining focus and responding to the environment in real time has a resetting effect on the mind, helping to alleviate mental clutter. So next time you feel overwhelmed, even a short ride can induce that same laser focus riders call their mental reset. The immersive nature of riding, combined with the necessity of continuous attention, creates a mental environment where stress is reduced and clarity is restored. Emotional effects further distinguish motorcycling as a mindfulness practice. Many riders begin a journey with unresolved concerns or distractions, only to find that these thoughts dissipate as the ride progresses. The combination of focus, sensory input, and physical engagement produces a shift in perspective. Problems that seemed pressing can lose their urgency, replaced by a sense of control and presence. This emotional release is similar to the relief reported after meditation, but it is achieved through movement and interaction rather than stillness. Interaction with the environment is another defining characteristic. Motorcycling does not isolate the rider from the world. Instead, it demands a heightened awareness of every aspect of the surroundings. The curve of the road, the texture of the pavement, changes in temperature or wind, all require continuous adjustment and attention. These external cues keep the rider anchored in reality, reinforcing the sense of presence and contributing to mental stability. The dialogue between rider and environment is ongoing, and it is this engagement that builds both clarity and resilience. The cumulative effect of regular riding can extend beyond individual journeys. Consistent immersion in this focused state can strengthen cognitive resilience, making it easier to manage stress and maintain clarity in everyday life. The repeated practice of redirecting attention, Processing sensory information and maintaining control under varying conditions contributes to mental agility. Over time, riders may find themselves better equipped to handle the unpredictability and demands of daily routines. Where traditional mindfulness practices often emphasize stillness and internal focus, motorcycling offers an alternative grounded in movement and external engagement. The result is a form of mindfulness that is both active and restorative. Riders develop a sharpened sense of awareness, improved emotional regulation, and a greater capacity for presence. This mental sharpening is not isolated from the physical demands of riding. In fact, the body plays a critical role in sustaining this focus, and the act of riding engages far more than just the mind. The hidden workout. Mind and body in motion. Physical demands are woven into every aspect of motorcycling, even if they are not always apparent to the casual observer. The hidden workout begins with the continuous adjustments required to keep the motorcycle balanced and responsive. Riders engage their core muscles throughout every ride, maintaining stability and posture whether navigating city streets or winding rural roads. The core provides the foundation for all movement, supporting the upper body and allowing for subtle shifts in weight that are essential for steering and control. Arms and shoulders remain active as they manage the handlebars, absorbing feedback from the road and making constant corrections. The legs play a significant role in stabilizing the bike, particularly during stops, starts, and tight maneuvers. Neck muscles also face sustained effort, supporting the weight of the helmet and head, especially at higher speeds where wind resistance increases. Over time, these physical demands build strength and endurance, with riders often noticing improvements in their posture and muscular resilience. UCLA research supports the idea that riding is more than passive transport. The study found an 11% rise in heart rate during a 20-minute ride, comparable to brisk walking, while core, arms, and neck stay engaged throughout the ride. This increase in cardiovascular activity improves circulation and contributes to overall heart health. The physiological response does not end with the heart rate. That 27% adrenaline rush also triggers endorphins, giving you a natural mood boost similar to traditional cardio. The combination of adrenaline and endorphins creates a sense of invigoration and well-being, reinforcing the positive emotional effects associated with riding. The physical engagement of motorcycling is not limited to brief bursts of activity. On longer rides or more challenging terrain, the sustained effort required to maintain balance and control becomes more pronounced. Riders must continuously monitor and adjust their posture, which helps develop core and neck strength over time. Even the act of supporting the head and helmet, which may seem minor, contributes to muscular endurance and can reduce discomfort with regular practice. These adaptations occur naturally, without the need for structured exercise routines, as riders unconsciously build these muscle groups through regular mileage. Attention to posture is critical for comfort and safety. Proper alignment of the spine and shoulders prevents fatigue and allows for better handling of the motorcycle. Riders who maintain good posture experience less strain and are able to ride longer distances with reduced discomfort. Over time, the demands of riding encourage the development of habits that support spinal health and muscular balance. The interplay between posture and movement ensures that the workout is distributed across multiple muscle groups, reducing the risk of overuse injuries and promoting overall physical fitness. The cognitive aspect of motorcycling is equally significant. Operating a motorcycle requires sustained focus and rapid decision-making in response to changing road conditions, traffic patterns, and environmental factors. The brain is constantly processing information, prioritizing relevant stimuli, and coordinating physical responses. This mental engagement sharpens reaction times and enhances situational awareness. The combined physical-mental challenge may even strengthen your attention span off the bike, too. Riders often report improved concentration and cognitive endurance in other areas of their lives, attributing these benefits to the mental discipline cultivated through riding. Emotional well-being is closely linked to these physical and cognitive effects. The release of endorphins and adrenaline during a ride contributes to improved mood and a sense of accomplishment. Riders frequently describe feeling refreshed and mentally reset after even a short journey. The fusion of movement, focus, and sensory input generates a post-ride calm that is distinct from the fatigue often associated with traditional exercise. Instead of exhaustion, there is a lingering sense of clarity and renewal. The unique combination of physical and mental engagement sets motorcycling apart from other activities. The workout is not defined by repetitive motions or isolated muscle training, but by the integration of balance, coordination, and sustained attention. Riders experience the benefits of exercise and mindfulness simultaneously, often without conscious effort. The holistic nature of this experience supports both physical health and psychological resilience, contributing to a more balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. As the physical and mental impacts of riding accumulate, the value of motorcycling extends beyond recreation. The evidence points to a practice that supports overall well-being, offering measurable benefits for body and mind. This recognition invites a broader perspective on what it means to ride, suggesting that each journey holds the potential for meaningful, lasting improvement. Motorcycling is more than recreation. It's a scientifically supported method for managing stress and promoting well-being. As Dr. Vaughn observed, the unique brain and body shifts while riding could be your go-to stress antidote. The combination of physical engagement, mental focus, and sensory immersion produces benefits that extend beyond the ride itself. If you felt this shift on two wheels, share your experience in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more science-backed riding insights. Next time life feels overwhelming, remember, you already have a therapist on two wheels.